am a wild child, yes I am. I love the country and I wanna run free, and I don't wanna live up to anyone's plan. I wanna feel the good vibes and I wanna feel the sunshine with you by my side. I am.
Hey guys, Mike Colón here. I've been shooting with the Zeiss 55mm Otus lens, and Zeiss sent it to me a while back, and I've been testing it. I fell in love with this lens. I didn't think I was going to love it so much because of the manual focus. It has no autofocus, but after using it, man, I have actually fallen in love with it. I actually love manually focusing, and I'm so excited about this lens. I actually went and bought it, and I got the box in the mail yesterday. I wanted to save the unboxing for you so I can show you how beautiful this lens is and talk a little bit about it. So why don't we get right into it. Cut through the tape. So here it is, Otus 1.4 55. It's actually a pretty nice packaging. It's all white. Oh, look at this. Slides out, it looks like a drawer. Let's see if I can figure this out. Yeah, look at that. They actually make tattoos that look just like this. They're like these temporary tattoos. I had one in Vegas at the trade show. They gave me one. Look at that, the Zeiss blue. Here's the lens hood. I don't know why I'm going into this first, but that's what I grabbed, so. It's a metal lens hood. Very sturdy to protect the lens if you drop it or something, or also a matte finish on the inside. Cut out glare. Christmas. Look at this. Not even a fingerprint on it. I don't want to put the first fingerprint. I'm so scared. It's so beautiful. So what I love about this lens is the shape of it. I don't know, it just has this kind of like, in a way it's like modern, and in a way it's almost like retro too. It's got the aperture ring on it, which is nice, an external aperture ring. This allows you to actually use it with Metabone's F mount adapter, which is really good. And then all you need to buy is like a $129 adapter for the Sony, and then you just change your aperture right on the lens. It's got really bright markings, which is really nice for it shows your focus distance right there in feet and meters. The one thing I noticed about this lens is the wide throw, how far this will turn. So what that gives you is just really like fine tuning in your focus. But the other thing is how buttery smooth it is. I mean, this is just like so buttery smooth. And this is what actually got me to fall in love with manually focusing. I'm going to talk a little bit about why manual focus works for me on the Sony and not on the Nikon. This is a Nikon mount, so you can see there it's the ZF2 mount. So it's made for the Nikon. So this will mount directly on a Nikon. I actually don't prefer this lens on the Nikon because of the focusing, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I really love this on the Sony line of A7 cameras. And the manual focus on this thing is just so buttery smooth. So let's take the lens cap off. So beautiful. 1.4 aperture, 55 millimeters. They make two lenses. The Otus line has two lenses, the 1.4 55 and the 1.4 85. So this is the normal length, the 55 millimeter. I actually, buying two of these lenses at once is kind of pricey, so I picked this one first. I'll probably end up buying the 85 as well. It's like a $4,000 lens. This one's a $4,000 lens. The 85 is I think $4,500. I started with this one just because it's more usable in all situations. it's wide enough to shoot almost anything as far as portraits go, and then it's also a great portrait lens. You know, it doesn't really stretch the person. So 55 is kind of an all-around great lens for what I do, which is wedding photography and fashion. You see there's the Nikon mount. You can see the aperture kind of opening and closing. So 1.4 is man, that's a pretty fast lens for low light, and that's another reason I like this lens. It's a really fast lens. Super sharp, just like razor sharp images. I love having so much control and just being able to fine tune and see the eyeballs get sharp, like the veins in the eyes get sharp as I just dial it in. And you can see how it's so tacky and just like it just stops where you want it. You can see how it's smooth, and then the wide throw gives you so much control. You can just be like, you know, kind of go past it a little bit and back. It's just such a nice manually focused lens. It's also a mechanical manual focus. A lot of the new, especially mirrorless cameras, have the fly-by-wire system, which you know, it's like focus by wire. So it's, as you're moving the focus ring, it's doing something inside with the autofocus to incrementally move the autofocus. So it feels like manual focus, but it's not a true mechanical manual focus, which you know, there's something to be said for when you're fine-tuning a focus, having this kind of manual mechanical focus, because you have control, precise control as you move it just incrementally, just like even a fraction of a millimeter. You see it come into focus or go out of focus. If I'm gonna choose manual focus, then I'm gonna go with a mechanical manual focus lens like this. Oh, let me show you the lens hood on, actually. I forgot to do that. So you just line up these lines. There's a little yellow line there and a yellow line there, and they're nice and bright so you can see them. And then turn. It's really smooth. It clicks in, so you can see it clicks in, and it won't fall off, or it's loose. It's nothing's shaky. And what's cool about when the lens hood's on is it's got this very smooth gradient going up, so it kind of fits the form of the lens and continues on this beautiful shape. So it's actually just a very pleasing to look at lens. So here's the camera that I shoot with. This is the A7 Mark II, and I have this Metabones adapter. It's the Nikon mount Metabones adapter. It's the F mount one. So this mounts perfectly on these lenses, and it mounts perfectly on any Nikon F mount lenses. I'll show you that it's pretty smooth too. It's not like super tight or anything. So mounted pretty easily, comes off pretty easily, and has full functionality because it's got its own aperture ring on the external body of the lens. So you can see that that's nice and snug, it's not loose, it's wasn't too hard to put on. So what I wanted to show you now is why the A7 Mark II works for me with a manual focus lens, and why I previously thought that I would never be shooting with a manual focus lens, and now I love it. So this camera, since it has an electronic viewfinder, and I'll just show you, as you look through here, you're seeing the same thing that you're seeing here. So this is what I would see if I was to focus now. There's the peaking. You see that red peaking? That actually helps. You can see what's in focus when whatever's red is supposedly sharp. I don't find that this helps me tremendously. It gives me a good idea, but you can see like there the Marshall is kind of red, but maybe part of it's sharper than the other, and I don't really know which part is sharpest. So this is the feature. I have it set up on custom one. I just zoom in, and now I can actually see with my regular eye. I can see how it gets blurry, and you can see how I just can fine tune and get it sharp. If I want to zoom in again, I just hit it again, and I'm even closer. And then, as long as you don't move the camera any distance from the subject, you can take the shot, and you know it's going to be sharp. So then I can zoom in on this, and it should be dead on. See? So it gives me a lot of confidence when I'm shooting manual focus now that I know it's sharp. So I'll zoom in, quickly focus, shoot. I'll even zoom in, quickly focus, tap the shutter. So I'll do this, zoom in, quickly focus, and then let me do that again. I'll zoom in, find my focus, tap it, then I can recompose. As long as I'm not moving distance from my subject, I can recompose a little bit and then take the shot, and I know it's going to be sharp. I am paying attention now to my subject. If they're moving closer or further from my camera, if I'm moving or anything, I'm being very careful, but I'm quickly going in. You could even shoot right from here, you know, and then as long as you know your composition's right. I like to zoom in, find my focus, maybe even zoom in again if I have time, just fine tune it, and then tap it again, find my composition, and then shoot. So the electronic viewfinder and this camera give me more tools to manually focus my shots and feel confident that I'm going to nail the sharpness on my image. And the other thing is when you're autofocusing a shot, like on my D4, I would be using autofocus for everything, but I would be manhandling the focus selector, getting it to where I want in order to have my image composed properly, and then having it in continuous mode, so that way if my subject moved away or towards the camera, it would kind of keep them in focus. But I would still find myself bracketing my shots. I would shoot like several frames and keep refocusing, and I might even lock my focus, recompose, lock my focus, shoot, focus on something else that's in the same plane as their eyes, shoot, because I don't know for sure if it's going to be sharp. So I'm like hoping and relying on the camera's autofocus to get a sharp image, but later I might be going through my images and culling the images and zooming in, and I'm finding that 1 out of 4 shots is like razor sharp on the eyes. And thank God I bracketed and shot several frames because I would have missed, you know, the sharpness. I would have missed that image. So what's cool about this system is that I can dial it in and take one shot, and I'm fully 100% confident it's sharp, you know. The other thing nice about shooting with this camera is I can have an image preview come up right after I take the image in the viewfinder. I could be looking through, shoot, the image pops up. I could even hit the zoom button, zoom in right there. Instead of just looking at the back of the camera, the sun might be glaring on the back of the camera. I'm zooming in and things like that. So it's just one less step, you know. I could be shooting, I hit my zoom, focus, tap it, recompose, shoot, and then it gives me the preview. I look at it, yeah, it looks sharp. I don't really have to check for focus, I just saw it in focus, you know. Maybe I'm checking to make sure someone didn't blink, and once it gives me that preview, I know they didn't blink, I'm done. One shot, it's like one and done, you know. It's pretty cool. So instead of, you know, having this trust issue with my camera, relying on this autofocus, kind of like, you know, guessing and not really knowing for sure that it's sharp, what this gives me is 100% confidence of that my subject is sharp. What it doesn't give me, obviously, is shooting action, someone moving towards my camera. I'm not that good with it yet where I can pull focus perfectly and keep someone sharp moving towards me. I've tried it and I'm really not that good at it yet. So it doesn't give me the capability to shoot action and things like that. But, you know, for portraits and for most of my wedding work, this lens, it's on my camera all day long, and that's why I bought it. So a couple other things I wanted to talk about this lens. You know, this is not a full review, but I'm going to show some image examples. I'm going to attempt to explain why this lens was worth the $4,000 price tag to me. I've been shooting a long time, and it's very rare that a lens grabs my attention and forces me to shoot with it non-stop, leaving all my lenses in my bag. I kind of ran into this with the Nikon 200 2.0 because I just love the look of that lens. The shallow depth of field, the color rendition, the bokeh, just the quality of that lens. It was amazingly sharp, even at wide open aperture of 2.0. The Otus lens is very similar in that regard, but it's about half the weight. You know, it's actually something I can handle all day long. I don't have to be across the room to shoot a portrait. I can be right there next to my subject. A lot of my work is behind the scenes, close up. You know, when I'm shooting weddings, I'm shooting the bride getting ready. I'm shooting a lot of just close-up things. I'm in close quarters with my clients. So a 200mm lens was not really the best option for me. I just love the look of it. But now I finally have a lens that gives me the same quality, actually even better quality than that 200 2.0 that I fell in love with. So let's just talk really quick about the key things in this lens that really sold me on it. I want to say that the most important thing to me was the speed of the lens and how fast it was, because I shoot a lot in low light. I need a fast lens in low light. But the problem with shooting wide open at 1.4 for me has always been a couple of things. One, there's usually chromatic aberration. I usually get that purple fringing around the arms. You know, I shoot a lot of backlit images. I like that look of backlighting, so I get a lot around the arms, around the neck, anywhere where the highlights from the backlighting are right up against the shadows of the front of my subject. So that has been completely eliminated with this lens. It really blows me away how I don't have to deal with that anymore. The other thing about this lens is the sharpness, even at wide open aperture of 1.4. And you know, there's very few lenses that can boast tack sharp images, like razor sharp images from edge to edge at wide open aperture of 1.4. So you know, that's huge for me. This lens is actually making me feel like I'm shooting with a medium format camera. There's so much detail, so it's got that kind of medium format look. What I noticed about this lens is there's no distortion, so I can shoot, I can compose the image however I want. I can put someone at the edge of the frame, I can put them in the middle. It doesn't matter, I'm not going to get a distortion. So it's got that kind of medium format look. So on a medium format, it might be like a 75 or like an 85mm lens would be equivalent to something like a 40 or 50mm lens on a 35. So I have that medium format look as far as like the sharpness and quality and the detail, the rendition of detail in the image, and virtually no distortion. So I can be on a 55mm lens and have a similar distance to my subject and similar composition as I would be on like an 85 or a bit longer of a lens with a medium format lens. So let's talk about the bokeh. Man, I'm a fan. Zeiss has a way of rendering that out of focus light in the background. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the 10 groups of 12 elements, the aspherical glass. I don't know what it is, but it looks beautiful. Something about it just screams beautiful. So let's talk about the way it focuses and the build of the lens. The mechanical focus of this lens is amazing. I've talked a lot about it. This lens makes me more accurate. Everything's gotten better. My timing, the control I have, the sharpness of my images, it's all improved. All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it was a long video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned a lot about the Zeiss Otus 55mm 1.4. It's an amazing lens. Please go out and try this lens. Test it out. You will love it. It will make you a better photographer, I promise. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Take care and God bless.
You can, you can.